Hello, thanks for joining us here at Live Love Carleton Place. I am so honored today to be able to present to you a very good friend of mine, Laura Bains. Laura is a pillar in our community, and she's someone who I think all parents should at least get to know. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you.
That's so true. So Laura, before we get into talking about your business, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who Laura is, what your passions are and interests.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. It's so exciting to be here. So what am I? So I'm Laura. I'm a mother of two. I have a daughter in second year university at Carleton, and I have a student almost finishing high school here at the CPHS. And we've been in Carleton Place for about, we moved here about 4 years ago. But we've been living out of Carleton Place for about 12 years now. We were living further south of here, and we're living sort of out of Carleton Place, but we love being in town.
We're going to talk about businesses in the community, and one of the businesses that Laura has, because she has many, she's this great entrepreneur, she's so inspiring, is Amusing Math. So Laura, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Amusing Math is?
So Amusing Math is something I am really, really proud of. Amusing Math came out of a place, so let me just back up a little bit. During the school year, I actually work as a motivational speaker in the school system all across Eastern Ontario. I am a facilitator for Math Olympiads. I go into schools, set up these Math Olympiads. In schools, we play math games all designed to transition attitudes towards math. And so I'm going into my 6th year of doing that, starting September 2018. Then I'm going into my 6th year of that, and we travel all across Eastern Ontario. And what I started to notice was, after about the 3rd year, I started to notice a lot more kids coming into the gyms with hundreds charts and multiplications charts, and they were really struggling. And so, when I'm doing mathletes, it's 200 to 1 ratio. It's me and 200 kids in the gym, and I didn't really have the time to teach them, but anytime I had a time just for 45 seconds to teach a kid how to do something, they're like, really? That's that easy? And I said, yeah, it's that easy. And I thought to myself, what could I do? How can I help this next generation? There's seriously something going on in the math curriculum, and they're just not getting it. It seems to be harder and harder. And so I was away on vacation one year, and this idea came to me that I could start a tutoring business designed specifically to help the younger students. There's lots of people who are willing to tutor high school and above, but the little kids are sometimes, they're really fun for me, but they're scary for somebody who just wants to teach calculus. And so how do we teach kids, and how do we create a foundation in math for them in a way that makes sense to them, that doesn't look like school? That was the biggest thing. It couldn't look like school, because if they were struggling in math, then it couldn't look like school. It was going to be too intimidating for them. So I had to come up with an idea that was same skill set, completely different resources, and completely different approach. Anyway, so Amusing Math came out of, I'll just tell you about the name. First of all, the Amuse is a creative, kind of spiritual, kind of guru. That's what Amuse is. But amuse really means to have fun. It's enjoyable. It's something, I don't know what else can I say about that. It's something enjoyable. When you're amused, you're clearly in a good headspace. Mm-hmm. And then, so I wanted to do Amuse in Math, because there's another play on words in that. There's amuse in math, there's amuse in math, and there's also amuse in math in there as well. And so I wanted all 3 of them. I wanted the creative part, I wanted the fun part, and I wanted the practical part, which is where the Amusing Math came from. And so Amusing Math is a play-based tutoring company, and I teach the kids one-on-one with games, with activities, with manipulatives, where you've got balloons and balls and skipping and jumping, and it's just a really fun, experience for them. But the idea is that we're just drilling skills all the time. We're creating a really strong foundation, and really what we're doing is showing them that learning can be fun, that everybody has something to learn, but learning can be fun, and then we're trying to get them over whatever mountain that they have come to me with. So whatever mountain or whatever issue or whatever kind of struggle they have, let's try and approach that while using a math program. So that's what we do, and it's really fun. We launched January 16th, 2016. And right now it's June 2018, and we are approaching 80 students we've helped in this community.
That's great.
Yep, they come in from all across Ottawa. Our farthest students have come in from just past Westboro. They come from Stittsville, Richmond, Pakenham. They're coming in from quite a distance now because the word's kind of getting out that it just becomes very, very fun for them, and the kids love to come to math tutoring. I'm trying to get rid of the shame and stigma associated with getting support for help, because it's one of the things as adults I find it's hard sometimes for adults to ask for help, but if I can help them at this young age to learn how to ask for help, and then while they're here they get empowered, and it's just fun, they're encouraged, and they love to come.
So as I mentioned, Laura's an entrepreneur and you're expanding exponentially.
Yeah.
Where do you see Muse and Math next year? Do you see it growing? Do you see adding people? Do you want to just keep it to, you're the only tutor?
So where do I see it going? Well, in the initial stages of the business, it was just K-6 math. That was all I was going to do. And then once word got out that there was a tutor in town who was willing to work with smaller kids, they started with me, and then they wanted to continue into grades 7 and 8. And so I expanded into the intermediate area with just homework support. So I wasn't doing all the play-based stuff with them. I was just doing homework support with them. And then last summer, I actually had 8 parents who had approached me and said, can you please help with reading? 8 students, 8 of my 10 students, I think it was 8 out of 10 I had last summer, and 8 of them wanted reading support. And so I opened up, I started to do reading support and had fabulous success at that too, whether it was phonetics or comprehension, sight words. It was significant success in that as well. But then I got really busy, and I'm going to, so what I did with the reading students is it's very, very hard to teach reading. I can totally do it, but it's very, very hard to teach reading in 1 hour a week and make it fun without having them sit and read to you so you can figure out where the issues are. And so I have a whole collection of resources downstairs of all games. And it was completely successful. We had students who absolutely skyrocketed in their reading and their writing and all of that. So that was not an issue. But really, it takes more than an hour a week to teach a child who is struggling to read. And especially by the time they come to me, they're maybe grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, and they should be reading way further ahead than where they are. And so what I did was I created an offshoot of Muse and Math, and I created a school that really is targeting remedial math and remedial reading. So the idea is they come in through Muse and Math. I work with them for 10 weeks to try and get their times tables all set up so that I know what I'm working with. I know the personality, I know how they learn and what their triggers are. And then after that, if they're still struggling with reading, they can come in through the school and we can work with them that way, because then it's still a small ratio. And that's a 4-on-1 school. That's a school with one teacher, 4 students.
Great.
Yeah, one teacher, 4 students. So that is just launched. That's 4 weeks old, and already seeing non-readers beg to read.
Great. Perfect. So Laura, how can people get a hold of you if they wanted to reach out to you for Muse and Math?
So I have a website, which is right down here. It's www.amuseandmath.ca. It is a long word, but I just love all the play and words in it. So it's long, so they can contact me through there. My phone number is probably the best way to get in touch with me, 613-250-9663. It actually, on your phone, it actually says it's A50 zone, is how that, on your phone is what that actually says.
Oh.
Yeah, that's A50 zone. Yeah, cool, eh?
The numbers lady.
There you go, the numbers lady, yep. And so, A50 zone, and so you can contact me through there. And, yeah, and then, or just put on Facebook. Anybody talked to Laura recently? That's been great. That's been a great, great referral service. And I constantly hear of people putting them on Facebook on sites I'm not a part of, and then people recommend me that way.
Awesome.
Social media is awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Now, Laura, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh,
because
goodness.
you're a strong woman, and I can do this to you. So, 20 some odd years ago when I started in the business, there wasn't such a support for, entrepreneurs out there, particularly women entrepreneurs out there. And then so you become this businesswoman, but then you have your baby. So now you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to balance them out because they're both extensions of your family.
Right.
If you could give one of those moms or dads, because there's dads out there who are staying at home raising the family as well, what one piece of advice could you give that person out there?
Who wants to start their own business, you mean?
Yeah, who has a family and trying to balance it out, or has a business or wants a business?
I think the first thing is that I'm going to speak specifically to women because, I am one. And I don't know what the male experience is like, but what I do know is that there are lots of people who will say no to you and say, don't try it, it's too risky, it's not. And I want to say, women, go for it. Believe in yourself enough, believe in your skill set. Your business might not work out. It's a very high possibility. Statistically, some will work, some will not. But everybody has a skill set that is unique from anybody else on the face of the planet. Everybody has something to offer. If you feel like you want to go and try something, I want you to believe enough in yourself that you are worth the effort and you are worth a little bit of investment to try and try and do something which is completely empowering to you. And there is a freedom, and the freedom of creativity to create whatever you want is out there. And I totally understand that there was a lot of groundwork laid before I ever decided to launch a business in 15 days. I get that. But it was totally thinking, I've got something valuable to offer this community that is completely unique, and it is going to impact the next generation, which is what I really wanted. And I believe we're here to I believe we're on this planet to make a difference. Sure. And however you can do that, whether it's a unique gift idea, whether it's a service or I think that the world needs what you have to offer.
A better place.
Yeah,
sure.
The world needs what you have to offer.
Yeah. Words of wisdom.
Yeah, that's from somebody who's always dreaming and
that's
creating and always got something.
She never sleeps.
I've always got something on the pond that I go. What else now? How else could I help people now?
Exactly.
So, yeah,
for sure. Well, Laura, thank you so much for being on the show and being my very first interview. This is so exciting.
Awesome.
That
Thank
I get
you.
to share that with you.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching. And if you have anyone that you know, or perhaps you're a business owner yourself, or you know someone, it doesn't have to be brick and mortar here in Carleton Place. It could be someone on the outskirts, like Laura mentioned. I know there's therapeutic riding stables out there who need support, or even if you're a 31 mom rep who needs support, send us an email, send me a text, and I'd be glad to have you on the show. So again, thank you, Laura. Thank you, viewers, and everybody have a fruitful day.
Awesome. Bye.